I want to share a really cool site. It's called nextdoor.com. Now, it's vital that targeted individuals are able to communicate with other people. And it's important that you share what's going on in your life to people in your community so that way they can communicate with the people that are doing this to you. If you have neighbors harassing you, you need to put it out there. And you can be discreet about it. You can say, hey, there's this guy down the road and he is, throwing lots of trash in front of my house, or he's, walking around with a gun saying he's going to kill me, and record it, show people what's going on. It's important that you always are recording when you're in the public, nonstop. So that way you can go back and you can share information with law enforcement or other people. And if you call Department of Homeland Security like I did, here I have a video, I can't even share it. Within 30 seconds of being published, it was taken down by YouTube, and just because of the background music. So I took it down just to avoid any issues. They were like, remove the music and it'll be fine. So I just decided just to leave it alone. And it shows 45 minutes where I call it the TIPS hotline. It's pretty much Department of Homeland Security's terrorist hotline, and I called them and it was on there for 45 minutes, no response. So hopefully we never have a terrorist attack, because then we'd be in trouble if these radical Muslims ever wanted to attack us and then they don't answer the phone. So another good thing about this site is that I think every month or something you can send like 100 postcards, and they will send them to any address you want. They'll normally have a long list of addresses like nearby your area. So I actually send them to the people that are harassing me. They get furious. I had one actually come over here. So you want to make videos as much as possible, or just put what you feel comfortable with. I don't share everything that I have, because a lot of these gang stalkers, I've seen one, she followed me. She had a white Lexus. I have her tag, all her information, and she followed me all day long, all the time. It was like, and then I seen her car one day. I decided to pass by Citizens Court, and the same vehicle was there, and she followed me around nonstop. Like, I'd be at a college, and then she'd pull right in there and pull next to my vehicle. Like, she'd be out in the road and just put their lights on and get out, or go somewhere else to do. It was just nonstop. So I thought I was dealing with a terrorist group. It's regular Americans. So I was being harassed when I was eating food. It was like these people were doing everything in their power to harass me nonstop and cause problems in my life. So if the Department of Homeland Security and your local police don't want to help you, hey, you know what? Share your information with foreign intelligence agencies. That's what I've done. And I've talked to one guy from Russia and came out. So communicate with WikiLeaks. Contact Fox News. Freedom of speech is important, people. It's part of being an American. First Amendment. It's important. Because any agency that wants to trample on that should, in my opinion, should be labeled as a threat to our national security and should be considered a domestic terrorist, because you have the right to expose unethical activities. If you're doing something wrong, it's law enforcement's duty to interrogate you, lock you up. That's their right. That's their duty. But if someone's going to school and being threatened nonstop in every state they go to, something's not right. When someone's being harassed, when they shop, when they eat, when they meditate, and even when they use a bathroom, or take a shower, something's not right. When you have people screaming, at your house and calling your name and cursing you out. When you just move to a new area, you don't know anyone here. I've been here almost a year and a half. I don't know no one here. I don't associate with people here. I used to be an extremely social person, and I'm extremely social, not antisocial at all. But all this harassment is really taking a toll on me. So remember, you got this next door here. It's a good site. So I'm trying to think what I can share. Okay, also, I was looking at this PDF file. Is used as a risk assessment for, I guess, like mental hospitals and stuff. Suicide and homicide risk assessment. So gang stalking, unfortunately, according to medical science, it does lead to mass shootings and suicides. And these are different risk factors. So I'm going to go to the ones that are mostly for people middle aged and younger. Feeling trapped. If you're being gang stalked, you're going to feel trapped. Every time you go outside, you're being harassed, so you feel it's better to be home, and then you're in the house all the time. You feel trapped. You feel like there's no way out. health problems. You're going to have most likely high blood pressure, anxiety. And then most men, they find it unmanly to go to a doctor like a psychiatrist. They just bottle up all that harmful energy, and they don't release it. So all that resentment is eventually, leads to explosive anger. And then most active shooters are male. They see intended victim and motive. So you have people also they're being targeted. They might want to target someone themselves or target a group of people. So that's another thing. And then mood disorders. If you're being harassed, you could have mood disorders. You could end up getting a schizophrenic due to the color sensitization used by these agencies. They use tactics and they use psychological warfare and they use tactics that are supposed to be used on domestic terrorists overseas, but it's being used here in America due to the merger of Department of Homeland Security with the military. And you could end up having eating disorders. If you're all the time feeling depressed, you might notice that when you eat chocolate or eating sweets all the time, your dopamine levels rise up and you're unhappy. So don't eat too much junk food. And then anxiety is another thing that's going to be real common for a target individual. Let me see here. And then, just keep going. Rage. Someone's following you around and harassing you. They're trying to push buttons. They want you to be filled with rage. And then, they want you to be angry. Then eventually it can lead to a person seeking revenge. I was talking to this one guy. He told me that he had a relative that lived in California. He committed a mass shooting at a school. He was an older guy, but he was being harassed by children. So I started looking at my videos and, these are children. So a lot of these videos I'm not sharing. I've shared them with other people that are ex FBI and it's say whistleblowers because they're kids. I don't know where they live, but their family was having them harass me, and they were a network with the neighborhood watch group and police. So I would watch these people. They would drop kids off on eating food to harass me when no one's in there, and they would honk the horn and wave at me. I had their tags, and let me see here. I said rage, reckless behavior. If you're being systematically harassed, it could lead to reckless behavior, road rage, or where someone says screw life. If you're being harassed, you're not able to enjoy life. It's one thing, to be harassed like once or twice, but then when you're harassed nonstop, all day long, then the person could act, in a reckless manner. So these are other reasons why people like sex, same-sex orientation, whatever. Let me see. Keep going on. I don't know if I mentioned. Yeah, I mentioned male. Most men make up 98 of all active shooters in America. So let me keep going on here. Another thing is, if you're going through all that, you have access to, firearms. You see financial issues. If you're not able to sleep, you're being harassed on the job at past jobs. That can cause someone to not want to work and make them sick. And these people, you do use slander. They do network with businesses, and all this stuff can cause legal problems, loss of social status. I used to have a very bright social life. I'm a extremely social human being. I used to have hundreds, and a lot of people can testify to this. Hundreds of women and men just I was friends with. I used to have huge parties. I used to really enjoy life. So, all this can cause humiliation too. They also use humiliation. They may try to have some ugly guy in a car with a pretty girl, and like, hey, I have money. And then when you do a background check, the one thing the guy has is a certification in Homeland Security. So this stuff leads also to being on antidepressants. So stay away from that stuff. It can make you more sick. So relationship problems. No one wants to be around people that have problems. Myron May lost his girlfriend. And that had made him even more sick. So everyone needs someone, and he lost the one thing that he had, and came back to Florida with nothing. So he ended up losing it. He was being harassed. So it can cause relationship problems, significant loss, unstable living situation. If you're not making money, then you can just lose it. So a chaotic environment. If someone's persistently harassing you, or being harassed by groups of people, they can cause your life to be chaotic. So these are all factors that cause suicides and homicides. And this is actually a sheet that Department of Homeland Security should give to Citizens Court and all these groups and police agencies that are abusing their power. through harassing people systematically. Surveillance is one thing, but harassing people, making your presence known nonstop is not right, and it's going to lead to mass shootings. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. So we need to speak against it. We need to speak against these mass shootings, and we need to realize that we have alternatives. Like nextdoor.com. Go to one of these clinics if you have to. Don't mention that you're being stalked and harassed. Just by a government agency unless you have video proof and police reports, because you don't want them to lock you up. And you may want to go with someone else. It's maybe a businessman, someone like a reverend or whatever that can go with you to talk to the doctor. Just spend maybe a couple of minutes at first and say, hey, look, we've verified that he's being harassed. We have polygraph reports. Private investigators have checked it out and they've confirmed that it's real. Police reports. So you may want to go with someone like a cop or someone in a position of authority that will back you up and that can say, hey, what he's saying is true and we're working on it, or it's a civil matter. We can't really do nothing about it. So realize that it is real. These programs do lead to mass shootings. This is how it is. This is based on medical science. You take this information, you take information about gang stalking to any of America's brightest psychiatrists or psychologists, and they're going to tell you that the activity is guaranteed almost to lead to mass shootings and suicides. So Myra May and many other people have lost it. And if you're targeted, and you've been going through this for years, like my case, it's been 20 years. If you've gone through this for for at least a couple years, then congratulations, you're a real strong person. And the chances of you doing something like that are really slim. And these people know that. These people have threat assessment teams, and they try to calculate, like, hey, what's the possibility of something happening if you keep harassing this person? So they know that the potential for violence is high. Because if you're harassing someone, 1 year or something, but when you're going on for 10, 20 years, and the person's calling your office, hey, Department of Homeland Security, can you guys tell Citizens Court to stop harassing me? I have them on video. And the next day they come back and harass you again and again and again and again. It's like, okay, the government doesn't care. The police don't care. So, what do you do? What do you do? So, it's a big world, people. Remember, if you have the money, you can leave this country. I was looking over here. Actually, I don't have it on there right now, so let me put that on there back up. But I was looking at different countries, and I had thought about political asylum at one time. And I have some papers, so I don't know if I have it where I can show it to you, so I don't have to look for it. But I have here one. It's the Convention of Rights and Persons with Disability, the Committee Against Torture. And let me see if I have any more. Hold on a second. And the Human Rights Council Complaint Procedure Form. So these are all things that will look good, even if they can't help you. The letterhead you're going to get is going to be really nice from them. It's something like, hey, we acknowledge your problem, blah, blah, blah. We'll check into it. That's it, They'll make note of it. But that's a good thing, because when you go to another country, they're going to say, okay, you get it translated to their language. Hey, he's come here declaring political asylum. He has, polygraph tests, reports from, ex-DOD, nonstop complaints, police reports, videos of death threats, and his system will help him out. So, they'll help you out. There's people out there that promote counterterrorism. They're dedicated to protecting the people. So look for these different agencies out there that are interested in protecting the rights of human beings versus, promoting, suicides and mass shootings. So I want to encourage people that are going through this to not isolate yourself totally. That's what these people want to do. I can understand that you're angry. I can understand that you've had enough. And no one likes to be put on the spot. No one likes to be like, hey, this person's, bad. Let's go attack them. And it. That's how they're thinking. And that the police are not telling them what your deal is. The deal is that these people don't like the fact that you're whistleblowing. They don't like the fact that you will stand up to them. I'll go to their offices, and I'll tell them, look, please stop it. I don't really care, when it comes as far as someone harassing me. I will try to stand my ground and try to do everything in a cordial manner and say, look, um, please stop. And if I'm dealing with scumbags or people that are coming across as violent or crossing the line, when it comes as far as my dignity, I'll try to put a little pressure, but I won't hurt no one. I will try to communicate with these people and do things on purpose, so that way they will have it in their minds like, hey, if you're gonna push me, I can push you too. You're gonna push my buttons, I can push yours too. But I don't try to do that. So I do investigations though, and what I'll do is, if someone's harassing me and I can't put my finger on it, I'll park my car and I'll take a walk down the street. It can be at a park or somewhere in their area, and I want to see how they're going to react. I go nicely dressed, and the videos I have are quite amazing. I had this one little girl. She threw on a hood, was going for a walk. Right when I passed by, and I just received a police report 2 days prior stating that from the police that they had reported people, 140-degree temperature, pretty much, following around with hoods on, and they were skinny, pretty much. So I could have arrested her immediately and just grabbed her and said, "Look, I'm calling the police. You're not going nowhere. I didn't want to this kid." But I noticed that there are other agencies that are doing this too, and this is happening all across our country. All the stalking. So pray for me. I'll pray for you. We need to speak against these mass shootings. So this video, I know how encourages people to go out and harm people. It's all about informing people that gang stalking does lead to mass shootings. It does lead to suicides, and it leads to violence. If a person truly cares about their country, they're not going to try to harm someone. If someone's been wrong, they confront that person. They're being, if you're mad at them, confront them. If police think that you got away with a crime, tell them, just go ahead, just get it off your chest, tell them, give me a polygraph test or whatever, and let's get it over with. But if someone's trying to put you in a situation where they can control you and push your buttons, because they want you to take jobs that are trashy, they want you to take jobs where they have community engagement agreements at, especially in these big cities, because they can cut your hours, treat you like crap, have your employees treat you like crap. So this community mobbing is done covertly through community engagement agreements, secrecy. So the people, when you confront them and you ask them, hey, do you work for Citizens Corps? They will lie. But then when you ask them, have you ever heard of Citizens Corps? They're like, yeah. And you might see their eyes moving around, or, like putting their head down a little bit, and they're wearing all black. And it's like, okay, you match the criteria for one, one of these guys. So I've had a few of them pretty much tell me, hey, I'm working with police. I know about them, And like, is it a coincidence we met? And they're like, no, like, why do you have that phone like that hooked up to hooked up to you, and you have like a little camera device? Like, look, I'm working with the police. I'm not a police officer. So I talk to these people, and they tell me, tell them, you guys have any idea that these activities that you're doing are dangerous? Do you know that if you're doing this to the wrong person? Like, I told a guy, like, I'm a good person. I would never harm no one. But I told him, do you know that if you were doing this to someone, that it could lead to a shooting? And someone could just shoot you right there in the spot. And he was like, yes, I'm aware of it. So I'm wondering, why are kids and women, these neighborhood watch groups and people out here stalking people 24/7? It's supposed to be non-confrontational people. So maybe we should put these neighborhood watch groups on the payroll. And I shared here this. I can't share the video, but the video that I have from DHS, 45 minutes long. No response. No response. So pretty sad to know that if you try to reach out to your system, they don't want to hear. No one wants to help. So anyways, it's depressing. It's really depressing to know that you're constantly being harassed, and I'm fighting. I'm fighting to stay happy, and hopefully one day I'll be able to be free and be in another country, where I can go to school without receiving death threats and stuff, and being harassed by people that are like, reservists, people in the army, whatever, National Guard. So, it's pretty much all I want to share. Just say no to domestic terrorism, just say no to violence, and share this information with people. Share the risk of what these programs can cause. And if you want to, you can even you can share this information with police. If you go to these what do you call this, neighborhood watch groups, try to spy on them, and share the information. Say, you guys know that abuse of these programs, these community-oriented policing programs, could lead to shootings and suicides. And that these are the different symptoms people can experience. So be careful who you harass. You don't want them people to get sick. So it's pretty much all I wanted to share. Stay strong and peace.